are you gonna grow up? Why can't you be more like your sister? No son of mine's gay. What are you doing with your life? When are you gonna get your act together? Nobody knows you. You are in a fundamental sense alone, thrust into this world as a creation that has never nor will ever be replicated in its intricacy. So why would anybody understand you? In order to optimize our chance for surviving a hostile world, we as a social species created a social contract. This social contract goes something like this. I will refrain from hurting you if you refrain from hurting me. Further, if I have something you need, I will give that to you. In exchange, you would agree to give me things I need when I may need them. This is a gross oversimplification, but in essence, that's the social contract. It is the basis for a cooperative society, a civilization. And these civilizations have been evolving over thousands of years, adapting to changing technologies and a broadening awareness of different cultures. But by buying into this social contract, individuals are confronted with a problem. A power structure is created which becomes an entity in and of itself. So an individual is not just in contract with another individual, but in contract with a power structure, far more powerful, politically at least, than he or she is. Cue the Pink Floyd's music. Pink Floyd's The Wall. The object of the power structure becomes quite simply order. But being a completely unique entity in the universe, the individual is faced with the dilemma of unfolding his or her potential in a social structure that may not even recognize that potential as conducive to its order. How much of my own authentic self can I express given the limitations of the power structure? Some are lucky and fit in smoothly with the norm. Others struggle to unfold their authenticity in a world that is not yet capable of integrating it. They confront a discrepancy between the musings of their inner world and the order of the outer social reality. So the artist born into a tribe of pragmatic physicists, say, may struggle for understanding. A pragmatist born into a tribe of free-spirited hippies will have to suffer a similar discord. The homosexual born into a tribe of religiously biblical zealots is doomed to suffer extraordinary struggle in coming to terms with his or her authenticity. A girl born into a misogynistic male culture will have a hard time asserting herself. So there are two extremes on how to deal with this dilemma. One can either sacrifice their authentic self and thereby live in harmony with the tribe, or one can commit one's life to expanding the consciousness of the tribe in order to accommodate their own truth and others' truth. This is the way of the spiritual warrior. Spiritual warriors will be attacked, sometimes in extreme examples. Such a spiritual warrior is put to death. The way of the spiritual warrior is toward maturity. Society doesn't give a shit about you. It just wants you to fit into its machine. It wants you to be a good student, a good employee, a provider, a good taxpayer. It wants you to chase the dream, the dollar, the prestige, because that ambition is its currency. Until you conform, it will constantly say, when are you going to grow up? This is the way it has ordered itself. True maturity requires full acceptance of our individual natures. It is the point at which we stop appeasing the agendas and expectations of others and begin paying attention to the creative thrusts of our own natures. So, real maturity isn't defined by the suit you wear, the car you drive, the degrees you've accumulated, or the status you've achieved, and the cultural machine that validates these things. They will say, what a stand-up guy. He has it all figured out, all put together. That's what the machine calls maturity. But try this for a definition. Maturity is the process by which we learn to approach reality rather than escape it. So if you ask me, are drugs bad? I will ask if the user is using drugs to approach reality rather than escape it. Ask me if sex is bad, I will ask you the same thing. Are you using it to approach reality or escape it? Money? Are you using it to approach reality or escape it? You can ask the same thing of conformity. Religions, wars, PhDs, marriages, moral righteousness. Ask of each thing if are you using them to approach reality or escape it. Maturity is in accepting exactly who you are, exactly the way the world is. It is the ability to face the entirety of yourself, the petty, the ugly, the evil, the good, the pure, all of it. Because the reality is, without accepting it all, one cannot evolve. We are taught to put our best foot forward. We prefer a shallow sense of pride over the true work of self-reflection. But it is precisely this sense of self-reflection, of approaching reality rather than escaping it, that we begin the work of finding ourselves. To borrow from the humanist psychologist Abraham Maslow, only when we truly accept ourselves exactly as we are do we begin to change.
They've been trying to preach me, trying not to swallow, but the rhymes make easy all the words that I know.